In terms of Mr. Scanlon from C.N. Watson, the same thing. Why would he come and why would we pay, given what we've done? We don't have this information yet. Why would we run the numbers for some of these detailed things? We haven't given staff that direction to help us answer the questions. I'm sorry, maybe am I running on?
I hear you. Well, no, you're not. I hear you. I just want to, again, if we're getting into life cycle discussion, and in the worst case scenario, if you're building a full build, double train facility, you would not, to me, the strategy would be fully utilize that first train until it was necessary to commission the second train. And so, in another fashion of how you break up those costs, and we'd have to run it by Gary, do you start paying life cycle replacement on the second train if it's not being utilized, or is it considered to be a pristine asset that hasn't been depreciated yet? So there's all sorts of variables that are in play and are at council's disposal to explore. So, from my perspective as your chief administrative officer, I would highly recommend that you have your consulting and expert resources here. And again, I don't want to presume anything. You have a tight window here, as the joint board indicated, of a couple of weeks to formulate this. So if you're looking at your consultants, I'd be looking at setting up meetings in a matter of days, not weeks, but that's something for further discussion by council.
Dave? This council sat down at the table and we've talked over the last year about how important economic development is to all of us. We've all agreed that's one of the number one key drivers, that we'd like to focus on. My concern here is when I look at all these numbers, first of all, the viability of the billing cycle to the sewer user based on charging them. If you say, $100 or $1.05 cubic meters additional increase, if we say 200 meters per bill, that's a $200.10 increase on the sewer bill with that. And then on top of that, the $134 monthly, if it was a single bill, that's quite an increase on your tax rate, on your sewer users. And is that the right thing to get growth? I like the idea of looking at it from a perspective of spreading it across the entire tax base, because eventually everyone will benefit from increased tax assessment base. As far as the whole process has gone along, there's a lot of public animosity. It's felt like it's been bulldozed all the way through. And I think had we gone up right at the start and said, this is a key to economic development. We need some type of treatment facility in the village to look after our future growth. And there's been talk of $80 million, looking at other options, an $8 million plant. And we've just heard today that we're not going to, there's no guarantees of funding. And even if we went ahead with an $8 million grant and only got 30% funding from the government, we're still stuck. We're back to $5.6 million. And we got to go back to the table to a complete EA and go through this whole process again, which is going to push us back 5 or 6 years. Therefore, our economic development and the things we want to focus on is going to push off. I understand we have to come up with cost-effective solutions, and I don't blame the residents for getting upset. Looking at what a prospective sewer user will pay, that's horrendous. But if we can, if there is a cost-effective way that can be spread across the entire tax base, and it's a modest growth of maybe 1 or 2% of your own overall tax bill, that's livable. I think we can totally with development stuff and development charges coming online, continue to grow, continue to maintain our tax increases at a very minimal level. Yeah, we have to rebuild some stuff, and that's what our job is. But at the end of the day, this is a tough decision, and I respect everyone's ideas here at the table. But I think going forward, I'd like to see something. I don't want to see this money go away.
Yeah, I also am into economic development, but not development at any cost. I agree that we need more capacity for Grand Bend. We do. We need more capacity for Grand Bend, how much we need and how we're going to pay for it. The tax base idea is a fantastic idea, because I can't go back to my residents with that huge amount. My big problem is I don't trust our partners. I do not trust our partners. I can't trust them. There's been, from what I've seen, brinksmanship and wheeling and dealing, which is fair. They're trying to get the best deal for their constituents. That's fantastic. Good for them. But we're at the 11th hour, and we were tap dancing at the very end, and at some time you got to say, okay, enough's enough. If we're gonna go ahead with these people, then that's why I believe if we can change the mandate, we've gotta look at this. We need more assurances, many more assurances if we're gonna take this huge risk. And as we've already taken the option off the table, I don't know where we go from there.
Councillor Owen?
Yes, it just comes back to due diligence and at least giving staff the authority, because we haven't done that yet, to run those numbers and look at the impact on the tax base. As much as I hate to say it, after advocating all these years, user pay on the rates, but we have to look beyond that. And also look at the deferred benefit option as well. But I don't think, it just really upsets me that that a decision was made without even considering any of that. And hey, I'm the first one. I represent Ward 4, which is the south end of this municipality. That means my residents are paying on their sewer rates. Doug's residents are paying on their sewer rates. So are yours, John. But the Fed, yeah, remember. And my golly, I mean, this is a decision for all of Lambton Shores. I'm not making a decision as a forest councillor or a Ward 4 councillor. I make my decisions as a Lambton Shores councillor. Yes, I take into consideration the needs and the concerns and the support and lack of support of some of these things in my area. And I can assure you, there have been emails and negative phone calls and comments, but I can tell you that there are a great number of folks in Ward 4 who get it and who understand and who have said, yes, this is something that we need to do. All I'm asking this council, I mean, it's your decision. We know what was voted on the other day. It's up to the rest of you, whether or not we get this additional information or not, or we just say, we don't want it. And then we'll go ahead and just by as a comment, because I still got the floor, so I'm not gonna get a chance to say much more. But I did talk to some, huh?
That's where we should be.
Jim Stewart. Yeah, right. I did talk to a colleague of mine up in Chatsworth this morning, spent quite a bit of time with him on the phone, happens to be a politician up there, says Illman, says, oh, I know the Illman boys from up here, from McCullough Lake. So we had a great old chat, but we also talked in great detail about the Chatsworth system and things like that. And we have to really be careful about apples and oranges right now. And so be it. If that's the decision that we make around this table, that we're going to go to some alternative like that, at least let's do our due diligence, get the information with what's on the table right now with our partners. And trust and disagreement, my good God, I mean, isn't it time we try to build something and try to at least get the information on something positive going forward? What else can I say? I've emailed out the comments on the Chatsworth system to all of you. You haven't, you know that. I've got comments from staff in Georgian Bluffs. I do my homework too, everybody. I do my homework. Okay?
Deputy Mayor and then Doug, and then we're going to take a break and stretch, and we'll come back to the same discussion. Okay. Deputy Mayor?
Yes, I appreciate that everybody, including myself, are very interested in seeing development within our municipality. We want to see the assessment base grow and we want to see the benefits from that in many ways. But I think we have to be realistic about what the increases could be. When you look at the building permits and the new houses that are being built, from 2004 to 2011, it has decreased from 112 new houses down to 33. And it's kind of increasingly decreased. And I understand that in the catchment area for zones 3 and 4, there were only 17 houses built last year. So we have, it isn't exploding. It'd be nice to think it's going to explode, but we could be really putting ourselves in a position that we have expectations. We're going to have this great development, and we're going to have all this extra assessment coming in to pay for these costs. costs, and so the user rates will not have